Hey everyone, welcome to the Canine Culture Podcast, where we talk about everything dog. Q&As with veterinarian professionals, rescue operators, everyday topics. We cover everything dog on this podcast. So make sure you subscribe to the Canine Culture Podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and make sure you're following us on social media on both Instagram and Facebook. Thanks again for listening. Now here's that next episode. Hey everyone, welcome to the Canine Culture Podcast. This is your host, Brittany, and we are joined today by Haley. She is with the Natural Dog Company. So thank you, Haley, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So we are going to talk a little bit about the Natural Dog Company, what they do, what they offer as far as products. But first, let's kind of talk about you and your role with the company and how you got started.
Yeah, so I'm a product developer for Natural Dog Company. I've been with the company for about 4 years now. When I first started, I was actually in the manufacturing realm working on our topical balms. So we have a whole list of topical healing balms that we have for dogs, from skin to wrinkle to paw to snout, really just any kind of topical area your dog needs help, we would make balms for that. So I was in the process of actually manufacturing those. I started managing the manufacturing process. And then when our company decided to get S6E certified, I kind of took ownership of that and worked with our products on reformulating and making them NASC compliant. And in that process, I learned a lot about our products, all of our supplements, and how it helps dogs, what ingredients to look for, what nutrients are beneficial. And then through that whole process, I became a product developer. So now I create new products for our brand and really just put dogs first in everything that we do. And it's really challenging and fun and interesting. And it's just great to see kind of how our products help to help dogs in whatever world of, whatever concern they may have.
Yeah, I found the Natural Dog Company when I was living in New York City. Our dog was walking on pavement every single day, and it wasn't practical for him to wear boots every day. He hated them. They would get dirty. He would lose them. He lost them all the time in the snow. So one way that I found you guys was looking for a balm for his feet, and I didn't want 30 chemicals, 40 chemicals, because at the end of the day, I knew he would end up licking his feet. And so that's how I found Natural Dog Company. So that would have probably been, I'm going to say like 2018, I think. And I started ordering the stuff for the paws. And then I noticed with our different like AC and heating, his little nose would get chapped. And so then shortly after, you guys released little like travel balms, and I would put it on his nose because it would get chapped, especially when he would fly with us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been exciting to watch the Natural Dog Company just grow and add products. We now use a couple of the different oils. We use the Himalayan chews. So for anyone that doesn't know kind of the background of Natural Dog Company, talk to us about just the company in general, some of the values, and like what the company does.
Yeah, so Natural Dog Company aims to provide holistic health and wellness solutions for dogs. So as the name states, we try to use natural ingredients as often as possible in our products. So in almost every single one of our products, it's exclusively natural ingredients. Sometimes for a topical or for a grooming product, specifically like a shampoo, there isn't something that is technically natural, but it's as close to natural as we can get, whether it's derived from vegetables or coconut, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we offer whole body health and wellness solutions, specifically focusing on whole food ingredients when we can. We want you to understand what the ingredients are when you're looking at the label. You don't want to look at something and not know what it is. So when we're looking at the nutritional elements, we try to use whole food when we can. We also do functional supplements that help different areas of the body, like their hip and joints or their immune system, or different areas like that, different body systems that they have. We have functional ingredients for that in our supplements. And then we also offer grooming products like shampoos, wipes, the balms that we were just talking about, kind of to focus on the health in a way that you can address it from the inside or you can address it from the outside. And either way, we have a product that will help your dog with whatever area they may need help with.
And with that, I think one key aspect of Natural Dog Company is you guys are focused on being proactive with your dog's health rather than being reactive. And I'm sure you can speak a little bit to the importance of being proactive, which being proactive with your dog's health is as important as being proactive with your personal health, your human health. So,
Yeah.
and I think I don't even know if I can say post COVID because we're kind of still in it, but I think we all kind of understand like being as proactive as possible. So, like, speak to that a little bit and how that's kind of attributable to your values.
So to your point, when we're looking at our own health, we want to make sure that we don't get sick later on, especially after COVID. Nobody wants to get COVID. So you focus on making sure that you're eating healthy, that you're sleeping well, that you're getting good exercise. All of these things that your body needs to be healthy is the same for dogs too. Dogs need exercise, they need to get good levels of sleep, and they need a well-rounded nutrition in order to be healthy. And
Hmm.
when you're proactive with your dog's health, that means that you're preventing problems later down the line. It also means that you are extending their life expectancy because they're getting all of the things that they need to maintain their own health. So it's not just about giving them nutrients to be healthy, it's to maintain the health that they have. So allowing their bodies to be able to be healthy on their own with these nutrients that they need, all of these fatty acids and vitamins and minerals and amino acids that their body needs to be healthy. They can't always produce on their own, so they have to get it from their food. And not all dog foods provide adequate levels of those nutrients in order for dogs to be healthy. So there's not a lot of regulation on the dog food industry. So really, they'll just spray on vitamins and minerals, and whatever sticks will stick. And you don't really know how much your dog is getting. So when you're proactive, you're being intentional with giving them the vitamins and minerals that they need.
Yeah, and so essential nutrients. So I think that's so important. And I think it's coming to the forefront of dog health that a lot of dog foods, don't even contain a small percentage of those essential nutrients. And I don't know how many pet owners have truly read the label of their dog's food. And even if they've read it, I don't know if they understand it or the magnitude of like what that label reflects. So I know that you guys have some offerings on essential nutrients, and you might even be able to list some of those. So people might not know what those essential nutrients are for dogs. So let's kind of talk essential nutrients.
Yeah. So there's an organization called the American Association for Feed Control Officials. They're called AFCO for short. And they've kind of outlined the nutrients that are considered essential for dogs at different life stages. So the ones that we at Natural Dog Company look at most often are the ones that are required for maintenance of health. And
Hmm.
there's about 40 of them. So I could list some of them off. You'd be really familiar with a lot of them, like
Right.
calcium and vitamin D and vitamin A, magnesium, selenium, all of these things from the vitamin and mineral side that are essential for us, that we take a multivitamin that has the same things that we're giving to our dog because they are important. But outside of just the vitamins and minerals are fatty acids. And in the human space, fish oils are a pretty popular supplement for people because they provide omega fatty acids. And for dogs, there are four omega fatty acids that are really vital to their health. Those are the ones that are essential. It's linoleic acid, alpha linolenic acid, or ALA, and then EPA and DHA. And at Natural Dog Company, we feel like these are some of the more important ones, mostly because dogs can't produce them on their own, so they have to come from their diet. And when
Hmm.
they get adequate levels of these fatty acids in particular, it also allows them to absorb other fat soluble vitamins and minerals. So when you have healthy fatty acid levels in the dog, that means that they are able to also take on these other nutrients that they need to survive. So, while there are 40 that are considered essential, I think for us, we really like to focus on the fatty acids just because of how impactful they are to the health, to the dog's health. It helps skin and coat, it helps their joints, their immune system, their cognition. Really, all areas of their health are really benefited by fatty acids and having those healthy levels of those nutrients.
And I think you guys have a blog section on your website, and it's like which oil is right for your dog because you guys
Mhm.
have a couple of different oils. So, do you want to talk about some of those oils that have those fatty acids, maybe like the difference in them, and any advice for someone who maybe is starting the journey on looking for like a fish oil or just something to add to their dog's food?
Yeah, so we actually offer four different omega supplements for dogs. We'll categorize them all as fish oils, though, so that there are some ingredients that are different than fish in some of these products. So we have a wild Alaskan salmon oil. That's going to be kind of your premium fish oil. It uses wild Alaskan caught salmon, and it has the highest EPA and DHA level of all of our fish oils. And it's really just got that pure salmon flavor. It's really tasty. It's really vibrant in color. And then we have a couple different sizes of that too. So it's really great if you have maybe a smaller dog. You only want 8 ounces of that because that's as much as they can take. Or if you have a couple of dogs, we have a 32 ounce. That's really great if you have multiple dogs or big dogs that take a higher amount each day. So the salmon oil is really great for the size variation, and it has that higher nutrient availability in there. The next tier is going to be our wild Alaskan fish oil, which still uses wild Alaskan salmon, but it also uses wild Alaskan pollock to get our
Hmm.
nutrient blend there. So it's more well rounded. It has pretty even levels of the omega 3s, 6s, and then 9s, which technically aren't essential, but are still really important for health, especially the health of the heart. So when you have senior dogs, that omega 9 is going to be more important. And we also have a cold water Atlantic salmon oil that is really high in omega 6 and omega 9s. And those are the ones that we typically recommend for senior dogs because omega 9s are a little bit more important as the dog gets older.
Hmm.
And then the last one we have is an ultra omega oil that uses not only fish, but also plant based nutrient sources. So we also have flaxseed in there as well as the pollock oil. So that has really high omega 3s because flaxseed oil is really high in that ALA that I mentioned before. And it's also high in linoleic acid. Sorry, I get mixed up with on those. And when you provide that for your dog, you're getting really high omega 3 values and also getting those omega 6 values. So that one's really great if you just want general omega 3 coverage and don't necessarily care about high EPA and DHA. It's still in there, but
Hmm.
sometimes people just want something more general. It's also more affordable than their other ones. That one's going to be the most budget friendly option.
Yeah, and speaking of budget, so you see fish oils on Amazon, you see them on the shelf at Walmart, at Target, and you don't I don't know if you always know what's in those, and I believe you guys go a step further to make sure the consumer knows like, hey, this is truly what's in here. These have been tested. So kind of speak to the value add that you guys have with respect to testing your oils.
Yeah, so this is actually really cool and also a little sad when you look at the industry as a whole. So
Yeah.
we work with a company called Orivo, and Orivo is an organization that verifies omega sources as far as ingredients go. So what they basically have is a fingerprint for all of these ingredients that provide omega fatty acids. So it comes out looking like a heat map. So there's different peaks and valleys for whether or not it's a salmon or if it's a pollock or if it's flax or if it's tuna or all of these different fish or plants that provide omega sources. And they did a study, I think it was last year or maybe a couple of years ago, where they blindly tested a bunch of different fish oils on the market that were claiming to be wild Alaskan salmon oil and comparing it to their fingerprint. And over 80% of the products that they tested were not salmon. So they were including misleading ingredients. They may or may not have had the label claim that they had on there for the guaranteed analysis for those nutrients. And ultimately, it just leads to a lot of uncertainty about whether or not what you're giving your dog is actually what's on the label. So
Hmm.
for us, we partner with Arrivo so that they verify all of our fish oils to ensure that it is what we have on our label. And then we have a code on the side of each bottle that'll say where the fish comes from and what the fish is. So not only that it is salmon oil, but that it's salmon oil from North America or from Alaska or all of these different areas.
Hmm.
They can tell based on the heat map where these fish are coming from. So we can only speak to our own transparency, and transparency is really important to us, but we are one of the few that have this verification in the space. I think there's only one other company that does. Um, but they are also becoming more popular in the human space too. So we just want to
Hmm.
give our dogs something healthy, but we also want to be honest about what we're giving them. And so we really value that at Natural Dog Company. And it's important for us to be able to give that peace of mind to pet parents to know that what we are giving them is actually what we say it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're seeing that a lot across the dog space with different supplements, something something comes out, it gets super popular, but and so people start buying it, all these companies start making it, but you don't truly know what's in it. So you don't know what the additives are, you don't know what the additional oils are, you don't know if it's clean, if it's toxic, if what, like you said, what the sourcing is. So I think that's awesome that you guys do that and consumers can check for themselves, okay, here's what's in it and here's where it came from.
Hmm.
And I know you guys have a new product coming out, and it's along the lines of essential nutrients, kind of what we've been talking about, staying proactive in your dog's health. So tell everyone about the new product.
So we are super invested in nutritional health for dogs. And while we do have a big focus on the fatty acids, that's not to say that those vitamins and minerals aren't also equally important. So this year we're launching this granule line, this whole food granule line that covers kind of the gaps left by traditional dog food and gives vitamins and minerals to your dog that are from real food sources. So a lot of the multivitamins that you'll see in the pet space, whether it's a tablet or a capsule or a soft chew, are made with lab created vitamins. That's not to say that they're bad. They're still the same thing technically. But when those vitamins come directly from food, the body is more ready to absorb those because it's in a format that the body is ready and prepared to accept versus the kind of artificial vitamins and minerals that your dog will take in, but it might take a little bit longer to absorb. You might not see an effect on those for a little bit longer. So when you give them real food sources that are packed with nutrients, then their bodies are ready for it. It tastes great. It's real food, and you can feel
Hmm.
a little bit better about what you're giving to your dog. So this granule line that we are launching, we have 4 different variants. We have a super greens that's made with ingredients like broccoli and kelp and spinach. We have an antioxidant berry that's packed with strawberries and blueberries and raspberries. We have a harvest vegetable that's packed with pumpkin and sunflower seeds. Oh, no, pumpkin and sweet potatoes and beets and different kind of harvest vegetables like that. And then we have the super seed that has the sunflower seeds, chia seeds, and flax seeds and things like that. So they're foods that you can recognize that you would eat for yourself that are also really healthy for dogs at levels that maybe won't be as aggressive as a multivitamin, but
Hmm.
because they're more easy to absorb, your dog will have a really great effect from it. And we not only guarantee almost every single essential nutrient that's defined by AFCO, we also guarantee more than that. So things that maybe aren't necessarily essential for their health, but are still really healthy.
Hmm.
So little fun fact, vitamin C isn't considered essential by AFCO, but we all recognize it and we all know how important that is for our bodies. It's also equally important for dogs' bodies. So we have, I think it's almost 60 nutrients in each of our blends. So it's a pretty big nutrient panel that you've got on the
Yeah.
back there, but we're really proud of it. And it's just cool to see how we guarantee all of those nutrients that are in there. So versus the pet companies that sell the dog food that just spray it on, it's in the ingredients, but not
Hmm.
in an amount that you can recognize or know for sure. So you know exactly what you're giving your dog and you can recognize the ingredients and they taste really great too. So we did a taste test with dogs across the country and all the dogs who got a sample of it loved it. So we got a 100%
Hmm.
palatability rating on all of our granules, which is pretty unheard of for a product. Usually we have to go back to the drawing board and make sure that it
Right.
tastes good for them. But this was one that they just loved right off the bat. So it's really cool to see that.
Yeah, and these could be, so they're little granules. They could be added to kibble, probably, if you do a raw diet, you could sprinkle it, or if you do
Hmm.
homemade treats, like, some people do different like lick mats or they make little like popsicles. So I would assume, you could do it any of those ways and it would still be the same, benefit.
Yeah, the cool thing about it being a granule is it's a little bit different than a powder. So powder, you kind of it's dry. It's a little bit harder to use on dry food because it just kind of flies everywhere. You open the package and it
Right.
puffs up into your face. But with the granules, we have moisture added in. So it won't give them dry mouth. When you open the package, it all just stays in there. It's really easy to scoop out. We have a scoop included in there when you buy the package. But it's really easy to scoop out. It won't fly everywhere. It's contained, and it's really easy to use. So you can use it on dry food, you can use it on wet food, you can use it on a lick mat for sure. You could freeze it in an ice tray with water if you wanted to. It's real food. So anything that you can do as an ingredient in your diet, you can really just do with this too. So it's really versatile.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait for my dogs to try it. And they're kind of picky, so they're up for the taste test, so they're going to do a taste test.
Well, if
So
if we're being fully honest, I have tried all of them myself. So in my development process, I had to make sure that they were good. And we use natural ingredients, and I'm like, well, it's just fruits and vegetables. So, and
right.
it does, they do taste good. The super greens, I think, is probably my favorite. It almost has like a, a teriyaki kind of zest to it, which is hilarious. But yeah, my dog Mackie loves it.
And tell everyone where they can find Natural Dog Company. So, website, social media, plug it all for everyone that wants to go follow.
So you can buy our products online or at Amazon. We are also available in most large retailers, including Petco and Tractor Supply Company and Meijer and all of those kind of larger chains. You can buy our products at naturaldog.com. You can find us on social media. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I think that's kind of where we spend most of our time as far as socials
Mhm.
go. But I think really wherever you buy most of your pet products, you will be able to find Natural Dog Company. And if you
Awesome. Well,
can't, there's
thank you
always
so much.
Amazon.
Yeah, right. Thank you so much for kind of joining us, letting us know about the new products, and, just helping pet owners become more educated and have more resources for their dogs. So we appreciate it.
Absolutely. I think all of us at our company just really want dogs to be healthy and happy. So, as long as they're getting what they need and have the education to understand why they are giving them their dog what they need, then we're doing our job.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in to the Canine Culture Podcast. Please make sure you subscribe to the Canine Culture Podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and make sure you're following us on social media. If you have any recommendations, any topics that you'd like to hear, if you know of any guests that would be good for the show, or if you yourself want to be a guest, please reach out to us. Send us an email at canineculturepodcast@gmail.com, or send us a direct message on social media. Thank you for listening, and please share this with any of your dog-loving friends.